we're bringing thousands of bottles of water, Trump water, actually, most of it. Some of it we had to go to a much lesser quality water. You want to get those Trump bottles, I think, more than anybody else. But we're bringing a lot of water, thousands of bottles, and we have it in trucks, and we brought some on my plane today. But to that end, I'm pleased to announce that we've helped coordinate the delivery of the water and bottled water as well as the tractor trailers full of it. We have big tractor trailers full of water. I think you're going to have plenty of water for a long time, maybe.
The guy's just so gross. He really is. I mean, talking about Trump water, branded Trump water. And by the way, he's such a hypocrite, too, talking about attacking Joe Biden while Joe Biden is going, risking his life, fighting for Western democracy, something he doesn't give a damn about.
All right, guys, so we got to talk about East Palestine once again, okay, as the mainstream liberal media is showing us just how biased they are in regards to the coverage of East Palestine. They don't really want to talk about it, but when they do talk about it, they try to talk about it in a way in which they find a way to cover Republicans or Trump in a negative light, okay? And you would think that Trump going to East Palestine yesterday would have been a moment where the mainstream liberal media could put beside their partisan hackery and to actually give the former president props for being and acting and conducting himself like an actual president. Unlike sleepy Joe Biden, who's currently in office, he's spending more time in Ukraine than he is with the American people that are in need. But no. According to Joe Scarborough of MSDNC, Biden visiting Ukraine is him putting his life at risk, okay? And that is what we should be celebrating, okay? Instead of Trump going to East Palestine, where, again, the air, the water, the atmosphere, just the environment in general might be poisoned. No. Yeah, Biden taking this trip to Kyiv, Ukraine, is much more brave, okay? And this is something we should celebrate, okay? Take a look at this.
Months later, the bedwetting begins again from people in the Democratic Party. Oh, we can't do that. Suddenly, the guy's showing up on a secret trip to Kyiv after taking a 10-hour train ride in, where he could have very easily been killed by enemy troops as he went through the war zone. And now people are like, maybe.
Walking the streets of Kyiv.
Yeah, maybe this guy that was like, he did 20 hours of train rides that I will guarantee you Donald Trump would have never had the what to do, never had the guts to do. And that all of the fat white pink boys who are criticizing Joe Biden on the far right in their suspenders would never have had the nerve to do what he did. He did it. He went to Kyiv, and he sent a strong message not only to Ukraine, but to the entire world about what America, not what Democrats, not what Joe Biden, but what America thinks of democracy and how we're behind Ukraine. It's a strong message, and I think you're going to start seeing it in the polls more, especially among Democrats. They're like, this guy that went into a war zone in a way that no other president did since Abraham Lincoln in the Civil War, maybe he's up to running for re-election.
Yeah, isn't that amazing, the dichotomy that we have here? Trump going into a toxic town, okay, where he could potentially be poisoned, okay, not brave and stunning. In fact, again, Joe Scarborough trashed Trump for that. But Biden going into a war zone, right, in Kyiv, war zone, okay? Here's what they say. With fake sirens, that's, again, brave and stunning, okay? And that's more reason why he should be reelected, why Democrats should stick with him as the 2024 presidential nominee. Again, it's amazing how that works. Didn't Trump go into the DMZ zone, right? He crossed into North Korea, right? Didn't Trump do that? I'm pretty sure Trump would have been brave enough to go to Kyiv or wherever he needed to go in order to have peace talks, right? Which is the difference between Joe Biden and Trump, is that Trump would have fostered peace with Ukraine and Russia, but Biden is just warmongering. Again, the dichotomy here is fascinating. But there was an interesting exchange between Charles Payne and Geraldo Rivera on this idea that Joe Biden going to Kyiv is so brave and stunning because he was in danger. And I think that Charles Payne really says everything that needs to be said about this idea that Biden was in some type of danger. Take a look.
This is important. I want to know if we're going to give $120 billion to Ukraine, and then Joe Biden has now not once but a number of times, he has vetoed other European countries from giving fighter jets so they can compete with Putin in the air, and there's no reason to do that except he's not fighting to win the war.
Right.
Charles.
It's a proxy war, and I think, I hate to say it, but I think the administration's happy if it's just bogged down. If you can bog Russia down, they lose a lot of people. Also, I want to bring up the notion that it's not right to be able to question this. $112 billion of American taxpayer dollars. You can appreciate and admire the valor and the bravery of the Ukrainian people. But this kind of reminds me of when the plague first started. You couldn't question the origins of it. You couldn't question the vaccine. People were ostracized. People lost their jobs over questions that we know the answers were actually what they thought it was in the first place. So as Americans, we have a right to say, hey, this is a lot of money. Where's the accountability? The air raid sirens, that was from... The only thing I did not like about President Biden's visit was the air raid sirens. That was the most phony baloney stuff. The air raid sirens hadn't gone on because they hadn't gone off for 5 days. It was
100,000 people.
No, I'm saying air raid sirens hadn't gone off in that city in 5 days. It was phony baloney Hollywood junk. They didn't need that.
I absolutely disagree. I think that is a little partisan jab that you didn't have to make.
No, they didn't need the air raid sirens.
They have lost 100,000 people.
Russia was notified that Biden was coming. Do you think Russia was going to drop a bomb on President Biden?
No. Russia was not
Biden
notified.
was in no. Yes, they were. Come on, listen.
Let me
get back to the original point.
Some things you have to accept.
All right, let me just get back. I grew up in
Biden warned Russia. They told Russia we were going.
That's what I just said. That's what I just said.
Yeah, I think all these politicians visiting Kyiv tells you everything you need to know about the imminent danger or threat of going to Kyiv, okay, and how this war between Russia and Ukraine is going. Now, if Biden pulled up to Donbass, then I would give him some credit. I would say, yeah, that's brave and stunning, right? But not Kyiv, to have fake air raid sirens going on in the background, like, again, he's in some type of war zone. BS, right? Nothing but BS in theater, okay? But with that being said, we got to go back to the United States, right? Because that's where, to me, I'm concerned about. That's what we should be more concerned about than Ukraine. And it seems like the Secretary of Transportation, Pete Buttigieg, is finally visiting East Palestine. And I want to show you guys some clips that I found of Pete Buttigieg's visit and some of the questions that he refused to answer, right, while on this visit. Take a look.
Mayor Pete, why did it take you an entire 2.5 weeks to actually get here to respond to East Palestine? Will you apologize to the residents of this city for the slow response, to the government's slow response? Do you have any apology?
I'm this press person. I can help you.
Sure. So can we ask why it took him almost 3 weeks to get here?
I'm sorry, I don't want to do this on camera.
What was his personal time off while there was a tragedy happening here?
And can we also ask too why he waited until President Donald Trump came here to actually make an appearance? This is a very important question that people across America would like to know.
I'm happy to have a conversation with you. I do not want to be on camera.
Well,
Please put your cameras away.
I'm sorry, we're on a public area, so we are allowed as press.
You guys, I would like you guys to turn your cameras off.
You're not on my camera.
Well, I'm on a camera. I would like your cameras to be off, and then I'm happy to talk to you guys.
Well, if you're the press secretary of the Secretary of the Department of Transportation, don't you think you should be able to ask questions from the American public that you serve?
Absolutely. I would like to do it without the camera on.
Can I ask why?
I think that is a little bit aggressive. That's why. And
why is it aggressive?
What do you say to residents who say you're too little too late?
I say that we're with residents right now.
Mr. Secretary.
We're going to be here before, as we were in the first hours.
Why did it take you 3 weeks then,
Can I
Pete Buttigieg?
finish my answer to the first?
Well, we're saying it's too little too late because it took you 3 weeks to get here, and then you use the
I'm
excuse
answering the question
that it was,
that was
there's
just
1,000
asked.
train derailments in the USA every single year. Is that okay to you as the Department
So I can't tell
of
I can't tell what the question
Transportation
is, but
Secretary?
I'm on my way to answer a lot
The
of
question
questions
is, do you
from
think that you've
reporters
done a
right
good
now.
job as the, Secretary of the Department of Transportation?
Yes, I'm proud of what FRA and PHMSA have done here from day one, from the first minutes, or at least the first hours of this response. what I'm really proud of is the community that I saw here. You've got federal agencies, you've got local first responders, you got states, but most of all, you got a community that's been through a lot that I think is pretty frustrated with people trying to take political advantage of this situation. And my focus is going to be to make sure that our freight rail system gets safer. And anybody who wants to take political advantage of this, I'm calling them to the table to find out whether they are for
How are
or
you going to
against.
fix that, though?
Well, I would start by referring you to the whole plan that we put out the other day, and I'll be speaking more about this with
very quickly?
You can find it all online. Yeah, sure. Work with Congress to raise the fines, the caps on fines. Our own work on things like focused inspections and the two-person crew rule, and another thing that railroad companies don't have to wait on us to require them to do, which is getting better information to local communities.
Mr. Secretary, would you still be here if President Trump wasn't here yesterday?
Yeah, the timing of my visit is based on trying to be here with the community, but also trying to not be in the way of NTSB.
Sorry, Pete. I just have a quick question. The American public doesn't seem to be very confident in your ability to do your job. Will you be resigning anytime soon?
I'm not here for politics. I'm here to make sure the community can get what they need.
Will you apologize?
I want to be
will you
speaking to
apologize for the
leaders,
response? For the slow response, taking your
Probably
time?
one of the big things. And let's go in here and get away from it.
No apology?
Yeah, so Pete is pretending like the people of East Palestine are appreciative of him being there because he's not trying to do it for political points. However, it seems like to me, just based off some things I've seen, particularly from this CNN town hall I'm about to show you guys, the people of East Palestine are not all that appreciative of his slow response, or really the response of Norfolk Southern as well in response to this crisis. Take a look.
But I'm speaking on the aspect that the people of East Palestine, are just being treated like dummies. We're not dummies. We're smart people. Listen to these people, what they have found out about different things and everything else. I'm angry. I'm angry about this. I've lived in East Palestine for 65 years now. That's my home. My grandmother came from Germany. She lived in Palestine. My dad grew up there. My family's grown up there now. And it is disgusting that we're just lost it. I live in a house that's probably the closest of any of these, and it's a shame. And this is probably the next closest one. And our house is, it's been inspected, it's been this, it's been that. I'm afraid to put my dog out just to pee. I mean, he's only on this tall. So, I don't feel safe in this town now. You took it away from me. You took us away from this. You seem like a sincere man. I'm not calling you names. I'm not, but your company stinks because they're not watching what's going on. Workers don't pay attention nowadays. Supervisors make workers work. You got to do something about this. I lost a lot. I lost the value of my home. I'm only one block. I can throw a stone to that burner. And what do we do now? I come back from Chicago 4 days. I was in Chicago for 4 days. I came home the other day. I put the garage door up. We pulled in the garage, got out of the car, put the garage door down. As soon as we got out of that car, the smell came back to us right away. Instant headache. I'm 65 years old, a diabetic, AFib heart disease, everything. Now, did you shorten my life now? I want to retire and enjoy it. How are we going to enjoy it?
Secretary Pete Buttigieg, the Transportation Secretary, is going to go to East Palestine today, weeks after this happened, and he's conceded, look, it's, lesson learned, should have gone earlier. What can he do on the ground today that would actually help you guys?
I think that for a lot of people, it's a little, no matter what happens right now, it's going to seem very late on the federal response. This happened on the 3rd of February, so I think he's just going to have to really dig deep and find the right words to soothe people's minds.
Yeah. So again, what I find to be fascinating is how the mainstream liberal media will spend more time bashing Trump, going to East Palestine and actually helping than they will bashing Pete Buttigieg, who showed up late, and Joe Biden, who won't come at all, right? He's in Ukraine fighting for democracy, which, again, to me, it's just fascinating. It's almost like there's nothing that Trump can do that these people will ever give him credit for, even when he's clearly in the right. Okay, he's clearly more concerned about the forgotten people of this country than the Biden administration. And the mainstream liberal media, again, the way they spin it is always against Trump to make him seem like the bad guy. But the actual real bad guys, Pete Buttigieg and Joe Biden, no, they're good, right? They get a pass. Okay, again, it's truly fascinating to see the coverage and how the media is covering this, because again, Trump probably could have won the primary with his visit to East Palestine, showing real support and actually bringing supplies to that area. It seems like the people there are much more excited to see him than they are to see people like Pete Buttigieg show up late to the crisis after, worrying more about, how many white folks are, construction workers in black neighborhoods, right? That seems to be what he's more concerned about. But hey, let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a black conservative perspective. Peace.